breaking news on the ceasefire in the Middle East. 3 Israeli hostages right now on their way to a hospital in Tel Aviv.
This is the chaotic moment the women were handed over by Hamas to the Red Cross. Their emotional mothers together watching video of their release while other family members celebrated.
After a delay, the ceasefire came into effect at 11:15 in the morning local time and now flowing into Gaza. And with just hours left in the top job, President Joe Biden has spoken on the long-awaited peace deal.
And after so much pain, destruction, loss of life, today the guns in Gaza have gone silent.
A lot has unfolded in just the past few hours. Let's go live now to 9 correspondent Jessica Millwood in Tel Aviv. Jess, you're in Hostage Square where there have been emotional scenes.
Good morning, guys. There have. Let's go to pictures just into the newsroom, and that is of the emotional reunion between the hostages and their mothers who were waiting for them just over the border in Israel. You can see them embracing after 15 months of agony. We also have a video of the moment that the Red Cross handed these 3 women over to the IDF after those chaotic scenes in the centre of Gaza. The 3 girls, Emily, Daron and Romy, are right now on their way to a hospital not too far away from us here in Tel Aviv. They are said to be in relatively good condition, although Emily, it has been discovered, lost 2 fingers in the October 7 attack. This ceasefire went down to the wire, and in the end it needed to be delayed because Hamas hadn't handed over the list of hostages to be released. But thousands have been down here at Hostage Square eagerly awaiting any information. There was a collective sigh of relief as they watched the coverage here in Hostage Square and saw that the 3 women had been handed over. Take a look.
Unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't believe. I cried. It's like heaven.
I don't think the liberal people of this planet felt what we've been feeling today. Something between anxious and happy, enjoyment and upset and everything in between.
Daron Steinbecker, one of the hostages released today, we interviewed her family a couple of days ago and spoke to them about the prospect of this release. They were optimistic, but they were also scared to believe that today would actually come, and I've spoken to them in the past hour. They are waiting for her at the hospital right now. The women will likely stay there for days, if not weeks. There have been reunions in the West Bank also. The Palestinian prisoners have been released as part of this deal. But the guns have fallen silent, as Joe Biden said, in Gaza as this ceasefire came into effect. The IDF troops have started withdrawing from the centre of the Strip, and that desperately needed aid is now flowing into Gaza tonight. Guys.
There's a lot on there, isn't there? Thank you, Jess. Back home, scenes of ceasefire celebrations right across the country. In Melbourne, Palestinian activists and Gazan families gathering for a night of unity and reflection after 15 months of war.
Across Sydney, thousands of people took to the streets expressing guarded relief as others celebrated with fireworks. Despite a ceasefire deal, Melbourne protest organisers say weekly rallies in the CBD will continue until a more permanent step can be made to end the war. Well, in breaking news this morning, the 3 hostages handed over to the IDF are right now arriving at a medical centre in Tel Aviv.
For more, we're joined by UNICEF Senior Emergency Coordinator Hamish Young in Gaza. Hamish, thank you so much for your time. Well, it's a very, very busy day there and evening. What is it like on the ground?
Things are pretty hectic here on the ground, Carl and Sarah. As you probably heard, we got off to a rough start. The ceasefire was due to kick off at 8:30 our time, and there was a delay, problem with getting the names of the 3 hostages that, thankfully have been released today. But we got underway at 11:15. And I would characterise the day as one of cautious optimism. A lot of people are out on the streets moving, heading for home, particularly in places like Rafah. But a lot of people are staying put and waiting to see what happens. As you probably know, this is quite a complicated agreement. There's 3 phases of 42 days each with a lot of if this, then that, and then that, and if this. So there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah, Hamish, you're absolutely right. It's very complicated, very complex, but it's also highly emotional. We've seen images of the families reacting to their 3 loved ones being released. They are, of course, yet to meet them as they receive that medical treatment, but they're just 3 of the 33 we're expecting Hamas to release over this deal.
That's right. So it's critically important for the rest of those hostages and for the nearly 2 million people in Gaza who have been displaced. Of those, nearly 1 million of them are kids who have suffered intolerably, as have the hostages. So all round for everyone, it's just absolutely vital that this ceasefire works. And delivering the humanitarian assistance is a critical component of it. As you probably know, we've got a target of 600 trucks a day that between all the different actors we have to bring in. So yeah, it's really important.
You phrase it really well, between the different actors, and it's quite the movie that you're seeing right now in real time. How hopeful are you, or do you approach the coming days with a great deal of trepidation?
We're very hopeful, but we are approaching it with a lot of trepidation. We're not taking anything at all for granted. Obviously we've had a long time to prepare for this, and we do have supplies backed up, ready to come in. That said, we've also been trying to bring as many supplies in as we can for the last 15 months because there's been no capacity to stockpile inside Gaza. The humanitarian needs, particularly of children, have been absolutely overwhelming. Food, water, sanitation, health needs, nutrition needs, education have all been in massively short supply for the last 15 months in Gaza. So that's been a major limitation on how we've been able to be ready for this. That said, we did bring in many hundreds of trucks today across the UN system. So we are cautiously optimistic that we're going to be able to do our bit to make this whole deal stay in place.
All right.
Yeah, let's hope that aid flows through smoothly. Hamish, thank you so much for that update.
Thanks,
We'll check
Hamish.
back in with you.